It's about to get diplomatic. So, guys, this video is gonna kind of be all over the place because I feel like Skate has been out for a couple of months already, and I kind of wanted to just discuss and talk about the things that I've liked, the things that I've not liked. Where do we go from here? You know, as someone who is an avid, who was an avid Tony Hawk's player back in the day, Skate was something that I wasn't too familiar with, but of course, like I have played it. You know, Skate was definitely seemed like a lot of fun, and it was one of those games that had to be the way it was because just because of the simple fact that Tony Hawk's was dying at a time, and we didn't know where the next game was gonna come from. Was it gonna be made with love? Was any thought gonna go into it? But no, and that's when Skate came along. EA did their thing with the first three. Now we're here with the new one, and I think it's very interesting to see what they've done with it. But then there's also some things that they haven't done with it. I think it's best if we start with the negatives because there's a lot of negatives in this game. Oh my gosh. And it's mad because I don't really, not saying I don't want to grill into this game, but I also feel like there is a lot of things that I just have to say that I'm kind of annoyed with. And the first thing is that logging into the game. Why is it every single time I try and log in through Epic Games, it doesn't let me log in, but then the moment I close Epic Games or the folder from Epic Games, the EA app opens and then I see the game loading up and I'm thinking, so why is it such a hassle? You should be able to log in through Epic Games or EA. Either one should be fine, right? But it's just some issues. It's just these issues that bother me. Next, we're gonna talk about the online challenges and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate them, but I'm just more of a thing where I'm just more trying to understand where it's just like, why is there not much to these challenges now? You know what I mean? There's not much to these challenges. There's not much to like do after you do these challenges. I'm just thinking like it's an online game. There should be a lot of multiplayer online content, right? And there is stuff you can do with your friends, cool, but even then it's still not saying much. And I'm thinking like, okay, you do these challenges, you link up with your friends, like what else is there to it? Like there isn't much to it. That's the thing. And again, San Van is a big place and it's just like, what's going on here? Like this shouldn't be the whole premise for an online game, right? Next is the microtransactions. Now, me personally, I do understand that people have been saying you can get stuff already in the game and you do have to put actual money into the game and stuff. And I think microtransactions is probably the wrong way to go about it. The one thing I did respect Tony Hawk's Pro Skater for the remakes is that there was no microtransactions. So if you wanted to get new gear, you would get cash in the game, and in that way you could just spend your own cash on whatever you wanted, right? And you even start off with a good amount, to be fair. And even the challenges and the stuff you do in the game, you can still get a good amount and get like different clothes and stuff like that. So you don't have to worry about virtual currency. This you kind of do, and I understand why people are saying they're pissed off with the microtransactions is because they have to get a lot of clothes and a lot of like boards and things like that just for actual money, whereas it shouldn't really be that. So I do think Skate kind of needs to go back with the drawing board with that, because it's just kind of like, well, this doesn't make sense for a skateboarding game to have it. Cool, you want to make it online, but not everything needs to be microtransactions. And I understand that because coming from a guy who was an avid 2K player, I understand what it's like to spend money on actual things that you don't necessarily want to have straight away. You want to have it straight away, or you don't want to have, and it gets annoying. So there is that. In terms of like the I don't know, the gameplay is good for the most part. Well, no, I say the most part, but the gameplay wise, I just think that there could still be more. There's still more to have. There's potential. There's hidden potential. I can't explain it, but there is like hidden potential in this game, and I feel like we're missing something here, right? And it's something that EA needs to work out, because the game has a lot of hidden potential, but if they just think that putting out this type of game, whether it's early access or not, when by the time the final release comes out, and this is suitable, it's not suitable. And it's just one of those things that I've kind of noticed as well. And and I think even with Skate now, it's like I was playing it for a straight away for like a good 2 weeks, and then as time's kind of gone on, I've kind of just been playing it here and there, because it is a fun game, but then it's like, what else can you really do in this game? That's the thing. I feel like there's probably more out there that I could talk about, but I'm just talking about off of my own experience and how I felt with the game, guys, honestly. And and I guess another thing that could be better, that could have been better, well, for me, is that maybe having three different maps, open world, skate, you know what I mean? Because the San Van is one big thing, but then also it's like, what about just having a different place to skate? Because don't get me wrong, I like San Van, but I do feel like there could have been they could have added 2 more open world maps and say, hey, here's another 2 that we can add, and we can skate around in this place as well, to do challenges and things like that. And yeah, that's just how I honestly feel about that as well. And then I also feel like that we need to see more offline challenges. We need to see, Skate was an offline game. Even when it came out back in 2007, it was one of those games you could play with your friends, but it had to be in person. And because of that, it was offline. You had a lot of offline challenges. You had a career mode. Bring those stuff. They need to add that stuff in. And I hope when the final release does come, they add that stuff in. But I do feel like that having it not at the early access, just to see what it's like for a new career, is a missed opportunity now. So now we're gonna have to wait till full release, and I don't even know if they're gonna have it by the time it hits full release, because right now it's looking very 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 weird right now, But there are some positives. Now, despite there being a lot of negatives, guys, and hey, I'm glad that I didn't think of anything more, because I know that would be a long video. But there are some positives to this game, and I think let's start off with the actual art style of this game. I actually personally like that Skate has kind of this different look, because even if they could have went with like realistic graphics and whatever, but I do feel like this is like a fun skateboarding game. It doesn't necessarily have to be that realistic for people to enjoy it, and I still think that the design of it looks good. It does look good. So I personally think this is a good way to go about it. It kind of gives me a little bit of that more of a I wouldn't say better, but more of an updated Sifu kind of vibe. So it's pretty cool to see that, hey, they're not just thinking about, oh, let's go with some realistic graphics and this and that might shock the world. But I think the design of it looks pretty good. I do think that playing the game, guys, honestly, despite there are some gameplay issues and whatever, but overall, like, you can still have some fun with this, especially like if you change your controls. Like if you go with the streamline, which is the modern, I would say go with the classic Skate controllers, because in that way you can actually learn the game. You can, it's not like Tony Hawk's, where Tony Hawk, you're pressing triangle, circle, and to do a grab or a flip trick or a grind or whatever, right? This game like makes you use most of the buttons. It makes you use like, the left and the right stick when you're going up in the air on a ramp, and then circle and the trigger to make you do a grab trick, and then obviously you're doing left and right movements on the right stick, doing like flip tricks, grinds, all that stuff. Like, it's just so, I feel like the gameplay itself and like the buttons, I'm thinking, okay, this is cool. I like that. I've always appreciated Skate, that it's always been able to, as much as Tony Hawk's may have been most of everybody's dream skateboarding games, right? When it came to Skate did its own thing, and I can respect that so much. Like, there's a lot to it. Climbing, they added in climbing into this game, and I'm thinking, it was easier now to go to the rooftops now and skate, because before you probably just have to run, and now they've added in climbing. It makes you feel like you're in Assassin's Creed, honestly. Like, as you can see right now, I'm climbing, I'm failing, but like, honestly, I think that's such a cool feature. Along with that, even when you're not even doing, like, let's say for example, I'm walking and running with the board, I can press L2 and R2 and I'm just rolling. I think rolling is such a cool feature. I don't know, maybe I'm just a simple guy like that, but I just like the simple things that this game has done. You know what I mean? It's just so weird and simple, and it's funny. And hey, I appreciate games like that, make you laugh a little bit. There's a lot of games that don't make you necessarily do that. So, another thing I do like is that, despite I said about having more maps, basically even having like, you know, 3 big maps, I still like San Van because there are some great skate spots. Like there's some really good skateboards to do some flip tricks, grabs, to even do like you know, to get some big airs and things like that. So it does look good. It does look good. The skate spots are, you know, they're just a lot of fun. They are a lot of fun. You can definitely like, you know, work on your tricks and just get better. And it's just like, that's what I appreciate about skate. It's like, you know, they've realized that the skate spots are gonna be important. They're always going to be important in these games. It has to be important, because without the skate spots, what are we gonna do? We can't just skate straight up and down and or downhill and whatever. We can't just do that. We have to have some good design for skate spots, and that's what they've done with San Van. You know, again, it's not the original stuff, but hey, I'm with it. I'm really with it. Like, as you can see, like, you know, there's like good pools, like good layouts, and good structure for the map. Honestly, I do think that is a good thing. Lastly, I think the biggest thing with this game, it is fun. Despite what I've said about this game, there is some fun to it, and you can spend a good like hour or two just playing this game. And I think, what happened to games that just made you, you know, you could play for 1 to 2 hours. You don't have to play it every single week. You don't have to play it every month. But you come back to it a little bit later on, and you're like, hey, let's go on, let's jump on skate, let's jump on a Tony Hawk or something like that. That's what skateboarding games did, and they still kind of do. It's just, I think, you know, I do think there is a big expectation, because there hasn't been a skate game for like the last how many odd years, right? But all in all, the hidden potential's there. I can see it, but I don't know where it is yet. That's the only thing. Maybe you guys can figure it out, or maybe some of you guys you guys in the comment section, let me know. Let me know if there's something that you've seen that you feel like that could be adapted on and whatnot. Because there are people that say that this is the worst thing ever, and it's for little kids or whatever. Your brains can't take it. It's only for little kids. Like, whatever. You know, let's come with some constructiveness, man. Please, let's come with something constructive, rather than just completely saying this is completely bad or whatever. Because there is some good elements to this game. Despite how corporate EA has been, I want them to really adapt on this game and really give us something that is worthwhile. But guys, honestly, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I've probably missed things that, you know, you guys have noticed or whatever. But hey, that's what I say. Comment section, let me know. Don't forget to share, subscribe, and I'm gone. Peace.